La la la.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to talk to you guys about my life experience in a retail supermarket job and how it's affected my life and my view in life really. So, I applied for this supermarket job. I've worked in supermarkets all my life, and there's always going to be we all suffer from this. We all suffer from there's always going to be one person there's always going to be one person or one thing, or if not both. There's always one person or one thing that makes our job horrible. And if you think back to whatever it is in any situation, as many jobs or school or whatever experience you have in life, there's always going to be that one person or that one thing that is going to ruin it all. It only takes one to ruin everything. And then they say one person cannot change the world. Well, they're wrong. One person or one thing could change your entire life. It really can. So the point is, I worked at this supermarket company, which will not be mentioned. And my experience in this I'm a hard worker. I work very hard. I put 100% of my effort in the things I do. I tend to be competitive with my own self. I am possibly my worst critic myself, and I hold myself up to very high expectations, especially at job. So the point is that I worked at a supermarket before this place, and the whole reason I switched is because this place was way closer to my house. I could just walk there in 5 minutes, and I'm talking about walk there. It's basically across the street. And I decided this was more convenient for me, and I went and applied relentlessly until I got the job. And I specifically told them I'm a hard worker. I'm good at everything I do. I'm a hard worker. And all I really want is 2 days off. Because the last job I had, they were just grinding me with 7 days, and sometimes they would ask me to stay an extra day, which means no days off that week. So I was just hoping, dude, like just give me 5 days a week with my 2 days off, and I'll be fine. I won't get burnt out because hard workers tend to be taken advantage of and burnt out extremely. So they immediately said, well, if you have to work 6 days, are you gonna be able to? And I was like, okay, if I have to work 6 days, could it be like 1 week, 6 days, and the next week could I work five? Could I alternate weeks? That way, I could help you guys and the company, and also have a balance to not get burnt out. They agreed to that, and they hired me. Of course, within the first month, already within the first month, I was already working 6 days, 6 days a week. I was working 6 days a week with 1 day off, and the more months passed, the less and less I got a week with 2 days off. And the reason of this is because this supermarket, this company, isn't straight up in the ghetto. Like, no one wants to work here, bro. No one. Everyone they interview, they even hire people that don't show up the first day. It's just a waste of time and money. Like, they should be grateful they even have workers, but all the time they act like they have a plentiful pool of people to pull from. when in reality they have nothing and they should be grateful for the little bit they have when they have it. So I had to deal with that. I had to deal with that in the beginning, and it never changed. Here I was a year later. Here I was a year later, still dealing with the 1 day. So that immediately, the crazy thing about that is that everybody that got hired before and after me, all they did was complain about not having hours. Like everybody had like 4 days off, 3 days off, and I was the only guy in the whole supermarket that had 6 days. And I took it as okay, let's take it a positive way and count it as a blessing. I'm getting paid good. I got 6 days, but you gotta understand the whole reason, the first thing I said when I got there is, could you please give me 2 days off? That's all I need. 2 days off. And of course, I'm the only guy in the whole supermarket that's having 1 day off. How am I supposed to think that they did not do that to screw with me? How am I supposed to think that, oh no, they're just like everybody else is complaining about not having hours? And here I am, the only guy in the store complaining about, could I have less hours? Because I don't want to be here all day, every day. But they don't see it like that. It's like they screw with me. And it's hard not to think that that's true when I'm the only guy and my one request was please guys, give me extra days off. And so immediately it's like they started screwing with me. Immediately. Okay, so we'll let that go. We'll let that go because what you gonna do? We need to work. On top of that, okay, what else am I missing on this damn vehicle? Oh, the roof? Oh, snap. Okay, so besides all of that, like I was saying in the beginning, there's always the one person or one issue, one thing. In this case, it was a person. Within the first, 3 months, I already had problems with one of the managers, the one person, because this person just always had a negative attitude and there was no way of pleasing him. So I complained. I complained. And what did complaining give me? Well, after that, for the rest of that year, they just put me to if I'm working with him. If all the time. All the damn time. Like they put me to open with him, they put me to close with him. Like it doesn't matter. I For the whole year, this guy was with me 95% of the time, and all I could do was take it. That's all I could do. And there's another reason that I'm like, are you guys seriously? It's like I work very hard. You guys are seriously just trying to push my limits until I break. Since the day I started. Like, what is your guys' deal? But besides all that, I still push forward. And I'm telling you, oh, let me clean these things. And I'm telling you, I push forward, guys. Like, I went above and beyond. I learned not only the dairy department, I learned how to do the meat department. I learned how to do the grocery department. I learned how to do the frozen department. I was an essential. I learned how to do the bakery. I was an essential worker. And I usually do this. This is nothing new. To them, it's like, oh my God. But to me, it's like, dude, this is me everywhere. I do everything. When I used to work at Target, I did everything as well. I worked the supermarket department. I worked the furniture department. I worked the back room. I unloaded the truck. I built bicycles in Christmas. Like, dude, I am that essential worker. I'm a workhorse. I will work, 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 and get burnt out to the point where my wife has to say, you have to call out. You have to take a break. And I'm so responsible that it hurts me. I'm responsible to the point where it's like setting myself on fire to keep others warm. I could get to that point easily. Easily. But yeah, here I was, and I was put in charge of the dairy department from just working there to put in charge, and all these little things that I volunteered for. Okay, let's finish this up. So I did all that. Eventually one day, this is a big place to clean. Eventually one day, I I volunteered to unload a frozen truck because the frozen truck gets there pretty late, and some of the female leaders at which have to unload the truck are really incapable of unloading it efficiently. I guess they haven't had enough practice or whatever. So I volunteered to do that, and it's a burden. It's a burden for them because they have a lot of things to do to manage in the front, like cashiers and stuff like that. So I took the burden upon myself. I said, easy, easy, because it keeps me entertained, it keeps me busy. And the busier I am, the faster the day goes. Since I have to be there basically my whole day, 8 hours of my day, and I'll eventually get home to be too tired to do anything. So why not? So I volunteered for that, and obviously I'm good at it. I have practiced before. I already knew how to unload trucks with the pallet jack, the electric pallet jack. So I did that, and that also became one of my many tasks because everything I volunteered for eventually became something I must do. Like, it wasn't a thing, option anymore. It was something like, now you have to do it since we know you could do it. So here I was in this supermarket working a lot of hours that I already didn't want, and working with a person that I did not want to work with. And then a bunch of jobs I volunteered to do that eventually became like, now I have to do it, even if I don't want to do it. And all day, every day there, even the days, the worst was the days that there was no reason for me to be there. Like, there's no trucks, there's no nothing. You have to be here for 8 hours. There's no merchandise. There's nothing. It's just, obviously, you're just a slave. You do as we say. Period. You do as we say, even if your life means nothing. You want to spend time in your home with your wife and kids? Well, too damn bad. You gotta be here just to waste your time. You want to get paid, don't you? And that whole thing, like, they think they're helping you, but in reality they're not, and they get mad with all types of young kids they hire. Like, dude, if you hire a young kid, they're not gonna be responsible. What did you expect? Especially the fact that when, like, everybody's expectations, to be honest, unless you have the experience and you already know, when you apply for a supermarket, you just apply to do what, like, for example, if you apply for groceries to put merchandise on the shelves, that's what you expect to be doing. You expect to be like, how hard could it be? You just grab boxes and put it on the shelf. Just grab boxes and put it on the shelf. Easy peasy. But they find ways to make it not easy. They find ways. It has to be very particular. And they find ways. They find ways. And you have to do this on top of that. And you have to do that. And you have to put the merchandise that's on sale first. And then you have to make sure they are like this in this particular way. And then if this is sitting in the back, why didn't you take it out? You should have noticed that it was there and took it out since it's an on sale item. You're like, dude, like, in general, we apply to stock shelves. We didn't apply to do math. We just want to keep it as, we don't want to be here in general. We do not want to be here. That's the first thing. We don't want to be here. And then on top of that, you expect me to care. Like, dude, just give me point what I have to do. Just tell me what I got to do, point at it, and I'll mindlessly do it like a robot. You want me to put all these boxes on the shelf? Done. I'll put all these boxes on the shelf. That's all I could really do. You cannot expect people to care. They don't care. When you apply to a supermarket job, you have the expectations to stock shelves. You want to stock shelves, period. That's it. I want to stock shelves and go home. Don't expect me to care. We don't care. How much the company made, sales, whatever, we don't care because it doesn't affect us. It's not like we see a part of these. If they make $1 million, it increases my salary by nothing. It's not like they share the wealth. They do share the work. Like I have to be there and work my ass off to for them to make their extra $1 million. But do we as employees, as simple employees, do we see any of this wealth and success? No. Maybe they'll have a day where they'll put pizza in the break room. You know, the company, oh, here you go, peasants. Enjoy that minimum. Like, dude, we see nothing. We see nothing. How do you expect us to care? We don't care. Another thing is that a lot of these leaders and bosses, they always act like the money of the company comes from their pocket. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these people that are they that every time you take a 5 minute break or something, they're on top of you because they act like the money comes straight up from this pocket. Time is money and you're just wasting my time. Dude, what about the days you put me to work and there's nothing to do? You might as well send me home. You're wasting time and money right there. But that doesn't matter because that's what they want. But if you like they really act like it's straight up coming from their pocket. Like it's their company, it's their money. It's the most ridiculous thing. It's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. And I don't know the mindset. These people are straight up like for all the time I was there, they would try to put me to think like them, like this leader mentality. Yet all I could hear them doing on a personal note is complain. Their life is miserable. Their life was miserable in multiple ways. They leaders that have been there for years and years, and they put their job in front of their family. They put their job in front of their finding a love life. Like they put their job in front of everything, and then they complain. Like you do have a choice. You know, your job ain't everything, especially in a company like this that as soon as you mess up, they will throw you out the door just the same. They don't care. They hold no alliance to you like you hold alliance to them. They will throw you out the door just the same, just so they don't get a lawsuit or they don't get in trouble. So why do you care when they do nothing for you? Why do you act like the company is God? Like you literally don't go to church and you act like this is your church. This is your life. And I just cannot understand the mentality. I'm a person that not only enjoys gaming, I enjoy being with my wife and kids. I enjoy having movie night, taco night, all these like special events at home where we enjoy our family because we're family and we enjoy time together and joke around and get to know each other and enjoy how my kids have grown and their opinions and we have thoughts and conversations and education and moments. And you're just taking all my moments because time is money. And I'm giving you my time in exchange for money, but you want all of it. Like it's basically if your job had custody over you and your family only had visiting rights. You're just stuck there. They choose what time you wake up. They choose what time you go to sleep. They choose what days, what events in your family you miss, or what events in your family you get to enjoy. Sorry, grandpa died. Well, too bad. You get it, like you. They have no idea how many sacrifices people make just to keep their job, just because life is basically slavery. We all slaves to paying our rent, and we want to keep our job. And speaking about rent, that's what's keeping America poor. That's what keeps the world poor. Rent. Like 75 to 80 of my salary just goes to rent. These landlords, bro. Like it just rent. The other 10% goes to the other 20%. I could say goes to the light and heating and water and other stuff like amenities. And the only 10% I get left is obviously to pay my phone and do my grocery shopping. And actually, I gotta live on the bare minimum of my wage because paying my rent takes 80% of my damn check. Like, it's ridiculous how, you gotta live somewhere and the way. There's a lot of videos out there that say wage slavery. You're not slaves to wage, you're slaves to rent. The reason you do all this is because you rent. Or you gotta pay your mortgage. It doesn't matter. You still gotta pay where you live. And it's the most crippling thing to ever exist. But besides that, the fact that these companies think you care and expect you to care, like, dude, I'm just here because I need money to pay my bills. And they say, you work for me. I do not work for you, bro. You're exchanging, you're giving me money for my time. I work here, but I do not work for you. I work for my family. If I didn't have kids and a wife, I wouldn't be here, bro. I wouldn't be here. I work for the people I love. That's what holds me together. That's what pushes me forward. Being there and providing for those people I love. I don't have a race car that I'm spending all my money on. I don't have none of these things. I'm literally working for my family to have a good quality of life. I'm spending all my time in this company. And I'll let you think I work for you as much as you want because my life depends on it. That's the world we live in. But in reality, I work for the people I love, the people that are worth me sacrificing my time, my life. You know? I'm not doing it for your job. I don't want to be like you. I do not. As much as you want me to think like you and be like you, I do not. Just because I have the potential doesn't mean I want to do it. You guys are miserable. I don't want to be here until I'm like 80 years old, dying for this company, having missed every event, 90% of the events of my life, having missed them because I had to be at work. Still stressing about, oh, how many millions do I have to make for this rich guy in his yacht so he could be with all his models and millionaire friends just while I'm grinding away my life at the actual job, just making money for them, and they're just gonna throw me away. I am not a dog. You understand? A dog is a person that they say, who's a good boy, and he wags his tail. I am not a dog. When they say, that's a good boy, that's a good boy, good job, boy. And you're like, yeah, I did a good job, didn't I? I did a good job. No, that's not, we're human beings. We need to be treated fairly. You understand? We're not gonna forget that time you screwed us. We're not gonna forget that time we had to miss an important event, but being at work was more important than our personal life. Like, that's ridiculous. We're not gonna forget those things. The next story, the more personal story. I had a vacation. I had a vacation recently, right? During my vacation time, I was waking up early as hell every day. I didn't take my vacation to rest. Hell no, I know this vacation is only gonna last a week. I had to work there a year to earn that week, and that's all I get. I didn't. I barely slept because I had to make the best out of this free time. So I went back to work eventually at the end of that week, unrested, stressed out that it already ran out and I had to go back. I didn't I since I work so since I have to pay so many things, I it's not like I went on vacation. I just try to enjoy my gaming, my family, and the free time to go around and maybe go to the movies or to the mall and do things we could do. Dude, like I was just as stressed after the vacation as I was before it. I had no freedom. No freedom. The fact that time was running out and it's almost time to go back to work was on my mind every day. I was counting the hours. I was miserable. I was miserable all that time I was on break. It doesn't matter. There's kind of a trap. If they see you're a good worker, they'll take hell of advantage of you and then they'll try to keep you. They'll try to trap you by giving you extra money. It's still not a living wage. It's still not something where I could buy my own home. It's still not a percentage of the millions of dollars the company makes. It's just you get paid more than the others. How about you stick around and work for us forever? And do the many jobs you do for a few extra dollars. Like, how about a whole nother paycheck? I'm doing like 5 jobs. How about 5 paychecks? How about that? But no, then they're never gonna see it that way. The point is that I had surgery recently. I had surgery recently, and I remember asking for the day off because I had surgery, and they gave me the day off. I went, and my surgery got canceled because I forgot to do my blood test. I was supposed to do a blood test before the surgery, so it got canceled and pushed back because they really need this blood test to be done. They really need this blood test to be done before, just to make sure I'm right. So it got canceled and pushed back. Then I went another time, the second time, and let's just say maybe I had a little bit high blood pressure, so they cannot do surgery on me with high blood pressure. So it got canceled again. Recently, I say, you know what? I'm not even gonna mention anything at work. They're gonna think I'm playing. They're gonna think I'm just playing them. I'm lying because they already have experience from so many irresponsible people. It doesn't matter how responsible I've shown to be. They already have expectations that everybody's a liar, everybody's trying to slack. So it doesn't matter. If I prove myself for more than a year, they'll still take it like I'm a lazy bum that just wants time off. So I didn't even say nothing. I said, you know what? They might cancel my surgery again. Let me just do it. And let me go. I might have high blood pressure or something else might come up. Maybe the insurance or something, and I won't have the surgery. So I work at 12 o'clock. I work at 12 o'clock usually. 12 o'clock to closing. So let me not say nothing. Maybe I'll just go and they'll cancel on me once again and I'll come back to work. And easy peasy, I won't miss out. So of course, out of nowhere, they changed my schedule to go in at 6 in the morning, the day that I was supposed to do this. So I had to say, I have an appointment that day. That was not the plan. The plan was not to be like they usually put me at 12, but they have the power to control my life. They have the power to change the way I live my life at any moment. If they want me to close one day until 9 o'clock at night, and the next day open at 6 a.m., you know what? You're not gonna sleep today. You're gonna get home exhausted and wake up exhausted and be here another 8 hours. And you're just gonna have to take it. There's nothing you could do. That's what we decided for you. We control your life. That's it. And they expect people to smile and be happy about it and be all willing and caring. Then you have to give them a 2 week notice if you're gonna do anything. If you need a day off, if you anything you do, they need to give you. You need to give them a 2 week notice because they need ample and plenty of time to arrange their whole so they could be comfortable and not screwed. It doesn't matter if you're screwed. It's what matters is that they're not screwed. That's what matters. Even if they but they don't give you the same courtesy. They say, you know, in less than 48 hours, in less than 48 hours you're going to in less than 48 hours you're going to have to deal with these schedule changes. Deal with it. So I had to talk with the main manager of the store and tell him. And he's like, why didn't you tell me 2 weeks ago if you knew you had an appointment? And I had to explain to him twice that my expectation was that my schedule was not going to be changed. I'm, I'm trying to live my life around my work schedule. So if you put me for 3 weeks in a row, you put me from 12 to 9, how the hell was I supposed to predict that out of nowhere he was gonna put me 6 a.m.? If I would have known that, I would have asked for the day off. You understand? So I had to explain to him twice because he didn't understand the first time that, I wasn't expecting my schedule to change. I'm not a psychic. I did not know 2 weeks ago that all of a sudden they were going to put me at 6 a.m. But my life doesn't, my schedule and my living, actually, my life doesn't matter. He had to put another manager on duty to take care of receiving because they upgraded me to receiving after I received that frozen truck. They said, this guy does a good job. Let's train him as a receiver. And I had to deal with that whole ordeal of training as a receiver. And of course, they put the one manager I had the problem with in the beginning to train me in that. Because why not? They've been trying to push me to my edge since I started there. Since I started. So I had to deal with 2 weeks of training with him. The point is that this manager had to cover my receiving schedule that day. My receiving schedule that day. And let me tell you, I cover everybody. When somebody goes on vacation, I cover the leaders. I became a leader, but not paid like a leader. Um, if the leader of the meat department needed to leave on vacation or anything, I was the guy to cover it. If a frozen department needed working, I did it. If anything in the store needed to be done, pallets pulled, end caps filled, like I was there. I was the man. The point is, I went to my appointment, and guess what? I had to get my surgery. So I called work. I called my job because it's not like they gave me the day off. They said, you know what, go to your appointment, and then right after that, come to work. Because the manager that gets paid he's the assistant store manager. He gets paid way more. They still expected me to get there after my appointment. And I'm talking about this manager complains. This manager complains if we leave 5 minutes before we're supposed to leave. Yet, if he leaves 2 hours, 2 hours is quite a considerable time. Nobody could say nothing. You understand? It's these double standards, these benefits, they think they're God, control over people's lives, and they could do whatever they want. The point is that I called the job and the store manager could be a real jerk. I called the store, I asked for a transfer, and I he answered the phone and I said, "Hey, it's me, Rob." And he just hung up the floor. He hanged up the phone on me. And let me tell you this, I know he does it on purpose because he's actually talked to me before and told me he tried to call the store and I hang up on him. Fuck him. I hanged up. And I always laughed at it because, of course, and I'm like, oh, ha, 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 okay, ha, ha, ha. But in my head, I'm like, damn, man, you shouldn't treat people like that. But of course, he did it to me, one of his hardest workers. The point is that I called the job after my surgery. I even took pictures of my surgery and I sent it to one of the managers because we were friends. We were good friends, in my opinion. And I was like, this is what I had to do today. Damn, it hurts. The anesthesia is wearing off. Crazy thing about that is that not only the store manager hang up on me, but the manager that I thought was my friend, we've been building a friendship for so long, and I really trust this person, had the audacity, the nerve to call me to ask me, so does that mean you're not coming to work? Like, what? And, and this person is like, because the other manager was just covering for you, so he was gonna leave early. He was gonna leave early as soon as you got here. So are you coming in? Like, no respect for human life at all. Like, are you seriously asking me that if I'm coming into work after my surgery? Like, I no asking, are you okay? How do you feel? Like, I'm so sorry, nothing. Or, I understand, please tell me you understand. Nope. Work is first, work is God. Are you coming to work? Because the other manager that you had problems with all along has to leave early. I said, no, I'm not coming to work. I was going to work the next day, but you know what? After that, I went and got a doctor's note so they could let me off for the whole week because in reality I wasn't supposed to. I'm not supposed to lift anything heavy. And I work in a supermarket unloading trucks and lifting boxes all day. I was still gonna go to work because that's just how responsible I am. But after that heartbreaking moment, I said, screw it. I'm gonna ask for my doctor's note. And the doctor, of course, gave it to me when I explained I'm a receiver. This is my job. The doctor said, "Oh yeah, that definitely qualifies as one of the jobs you can't be doing after the surgery." So I took the paper to work and I gave it to my store manager. I had to walk over there, guys. I had to walk over there after my surgery. I was so much uncomfortable and in pain because he hung up on me. So I had to go over there and take the paperwork personally. I want them to see that I'm not joking. I'm not just some slacker. You guys should know this by now. I want you to see how injured I am, and I want you to see how much I'm trying. How much I'm trying to please the work overlords. Like, this is not a game. I just had surgery. I get over there and instead of like also instead of asking me how you doing, I'm so sorry, it's fine. No, he gives me a hard time. Basically yells at me because I'm such an inconvenience. Like, oh, this is how you do me. This is how you do me after we've treated you so well. They think they treated me so well. This is how you do me. This guy made it about himself. He made the surgery like my surgery and my loss of time and money is his victimship. He made himself the victim with my issue. He made it like, oh, you must feel bad because your responsibility to in your life is your job, not your life. Like, he's clearly the victim because now he has to rearrange the schedule. Of course, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen to him. He must rearrange the schedule to he must now fix the schedule and find someone to cover me. Like, dude, you think I'm worried about that? I just have surgery. I'm in pain. I have a life to live. If I do anything, if I just decide to put work over my life, I may have what a hernia. I might get a hernia. I might injure myself irreversibly, and then I won't be able to provide for my family because I'll be injured for life. Are you thinking about me at all? Are you thinking the fact that I cannot do this, that the fact that I can never work in the rest of my life? Of course they don't care. Of course they don't care. They'll be like, we'll use him until he's broken and then throw him to the street. You know, then his life, his problem. Even if he's injured for life, you think they're gonna pay for my injury for life? No. So he made himself the victim in this situation, and I just walked away injured all the way back home. And then that's where I decided, you know what? I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit this job. The amount of stress and pain and the amount of things that has happened. My grandpa died recently, and I never went to his funeral. And a lot of the reason for that is because the cost of living is rising. The cost of living is rising, and I'm trying to move to a different state where the cost of living is more livable. So I'm in this whole process of trying to find where to move, and I have to work. I have to. And here they are, not seeing all the sacrifices I have made to keep this job. You only mess up once, and that's all it takes. And I didn't even mess up. It's out of my hands. It's just life. Life happens. And that's when I made the choice. I said, you know what? I'm gonna take my week of injury because I've earned it. And then I earned it and I paid for it. You know, I have my sick days. I've worked for this. And then I'm gonna quit. And after that week, I still can't lift anything. It's like, what is even the point? I can't go to back to work anyway. It's not like I'm ready. I I went and took my I quit papers, which I in reality I was gonna be decent enough and give my 2 weeks. But I kept thinking of how much of a jerk they were and how inconsiderate, and I said it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Let me just quit. With the support of my loving family, I made the right choice, and I took power in my life again, at least for a little bit until I start over again. And I took the power. I went over there and I gave him the I quit note that was basically my 2 weeks notice, but on top of it, I just put in red letters I quit. And of course, he had a lot to say. This is the most unprofessional thing. Like, dude, I'm employee of the year in the whole company. In the whole company, I got rewarded for employee of the year. I'm the hardest worker in your whole company. I'm the most successful and most promoted employee. Like, how is this moment in my life unprofessional? Have I not? I would have never pleased them. It would have never been a good time for them. It would have never been the right moment. It was just never gonna happen. Later, 2 weeks, 1 week, it doesn't matter. There was never gonna be a moment where it was gonna be all right. Period. It was never gonna, just the fact that try to make them happy was the bane of my existence. It's ridiculous. It was ridiculous. He basically yelled at me and expressed his anger. I keep quiet. I don't have time or patience. I know better. I know better. And he kept quiet. Like, these people knew I was looking. I had my living situation, and I just have surgery, and they showed no sympathy. They just act like after we gave you so much, after you guys, there's nothing I ever had that I didn't earn. I earned every inch. They never made it easy for me since I started working in this place. Since I started working in this place, they never made it easy at all. It was I earned every inch of everything I did, every promotion, every everything, every cent I've earned, every reward, like employee of the year, employee of the month, everything. I earned it. Nothing was handed to me. Nothing. I'm just that good. The fact that he acted like he was the no, benevolent God, like he was the almighty God of my life, and he gave me all my success and stuff. You know what? I'll find another job and I'll be just as successful. Nothing new. Nothing new. But the fact that they are always the victim. They put themselves like, not only am I God, you have everything you have because I gave it to you. And then they act like, oh, now this is what you did. This is so unprofessional. And at the end, with the extra side of fries, he said, get the hell out of my store. Get the hell out of my store. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how many years. Doesn't matter how much effort. Doesn't matter anything. Just get the hell out of my store. No, it was no. You know what I said? Thank you for everything. And I left. Because I'm a better person. Period. I have no pettiness. I have no reason. But it's just crazy. That's why I'm talking about this. It's just crazy. Crazy to me. How these people think. How a person I considered uh, one of my best friends at this job was more concerned over the job than my health, than if I was alright. The, till this day, this person has never texted me asking me if I'm okay, how's my life, nothing. It's just like the moment in that person's eyes, the moment I fucked up my work, then that's the moment the friendship ended. I am so heartbroken by that. I'm so heartbroken by that. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I'm the same person. It changes nothing. But work is God to them. And work is everything. And it's the most ridiculous and brainwash thing. Especially the fact that I know none of them are actually truly happy. They just lie to themselves saying, but I enjoy my job. It's like a mental gymnastics where they actually are brainwashed to the point where they brainwash themselves to think so. When in reality they know they're miserable. It's like they hide it from themselves. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever experienced. This whole experience, and now that I don't work there, this happened. I quit what yesterday, and and you know what happened? I woke up late. I woke up late and rested for the first time in so many months, and so, oh my god, not stressing about my time, not stressing about my time. I woke up like at 10 o'clock. Like, I'm like, oh my god, I haven't had a good night's rest. Like, a truly. I'm always stressed about time and how it's gonna be time to work the day after tomorrow or whatever. I've been so stressed and so broken for so long, and I can't believe I actually slept. And I I slept. You know when you go to sleep so good that you sleep in a weird position and then you wake up with your back hurting because you were actually asleep. That's how good I slept. I slept that I woke up and I'm like, oh my God, what day is it? What time is it? That's the freedom. The freedom. Look at what I'm doing right now. The freedom to power wash simulator. The freedom to just zen and have the time. And then when my kids get here from school, to have the time to have conversations and the freedom and joy of freedom of controlling my own schedule. No more does these tyrants have control over when I wake up, when I go to sleep, what day I'm tired. A lot of the times I went to check my schedule, and my schedule determined if I was gonna be happy that week. Am I gonna be happy this week? Is this gonna be a good week or is it gonna be a bad week, depending on the schedule? It's a miserable life to live in as a slave for rent, to pay your rent. All this is to pay my rent so my children can have a roof over their head, have the games they want to play, and that's just to spare money. God, you don't even know the struggles for Christmas. The struggles for Christmas, oh my God. Like, what, last Christmas or the Christmas before that, I worked so hard, so much overtime, so hard. I destroyed my hands, I destroyed my back, I destroyed myself. But it's a sacrifice worth it because I got my kids. Each one of my kids, I got a PS5, and it was worth it. In my opinion, as a father that cares and loves my children, the 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 excitement and the smiles on their face and the experience, that's priceless. That experience is priceless. That will always live. That is an achievement for me. That moment, those are achievements. Those are things I will never forget. And that's why I work. That's why I work so hard. That's why I do things. That's what inspires me. And that's why I will always be the best worker. Wherever I go next, I will be the top dog. But it's still crazy the life we have to live, the struggles we have to do. And there's always going to be this one person to mess with us. No matter where we go, no matter where we are, there's always going to be the one person, that one person, and you all know this one person. And this one person will always appear in different variations, but they will always be there. Either is that Karen, or that jock, or that jerk, or, you know, they will always be around. I have the people I love beside me and supporting me, and we work as a team to get things done, and that's what matters. What matters is heart and the people you love and being with them and the moments, the memories, the experience, and the peace of mind. Like mental health days is a thing. It should really be a legit thing because my God, how many days was I stuck at work with the most mind crippling depression because I had moments in my life that I couldn't attend because I had to be at work. And then they expect me to care. And they sacrifice their whole life and then they expect you to do it because in their eyes, like, you can never say anything because they'll always say the same thing. Like, I do it. Yeah, at the same time that your life choices are not my life choices. I don't want to do it. I don't want to live in your misery. I don't want to be like you. And that's the thing they mostly don't understand. We don't want to be like them. But for now, I'll just recover from my surgery. When I feel good, I'll get my next success story because that's just what I'll do. That's just what I do. And I don't need a place or people to make me a success. I am successful. That's something I carry. And I carry with me wherever I go. That's just who I am. But they'll never understand that. They'll always think it's them. They'll always think it's their God job. And they'll always be there. And they'll be there way after I've lived in many different states and have many, many experiences. They will still be there. They will still be there, all old and miserable. Just like the store manager, hunched over, dying. You should have been retired, but you can't. You can't because your rent also keeps you as a slave. And you could lie to yourself all you want, but there's no escape. Your life is gone, and here you are. And those people that are on the top, the rich guys that own the company, guess what? They lived their whole life. They were there with their kids all the time. They lived their whole experience because time is money and they had all the money, which means they had all the time. And they had you working for them and they stole from you all your time and they stole from you your whole life so they could have a life and have all the time. Whatever. I'm done. I'm done giving them a space in my mind. I'm done stressing about their way of life and how they expect me to live like them. They never made it easy. Everything I had, I earned. And they could go suck a lemon. Now, what I take with me is the experience I got as a receiver, as running all types of departments, and usually I turn better and better with my skills, being more and more qualified for my next job and being amazing. Is a breeze, is nothing. And hopefully I'll find my dream job, which is a part-time job where I can have enough free time and a balance between work and play. But yeah, so far I'll enjoy my free time. Thank you guys for watching. If you indeed made it this far, I appreciate you. You guys are gold for listening to a guy rant about his life and his life experience. Maybe you could learn something from this, and that is hopefully you can learn something from my experience, or hopefully you could relate to everything I've gone through. Because I'm only halfway there, boys. I'm only halfway there. Just like this yard. I'm only halfway there. But yeah, now I have free time and peace of mind. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.